today's gospel, my friends, the apostles gathered together with Jesus and reported all they had done and taught. They were talking about all the things that they were doing, and all great things. And Jesus responded, how? Come away by yourselves to a deserted place and rest a while. Seems kind of an odd answer, doesn't it? If I tell you all the good things I'm doing, and Jesus says, come away by yourselves to a deserted place and rest a while. I read this past week of a congregation that had a new pastor, had the same pastor for many years, and then he retired, and a new younger pastor came on, and he had all sorts of different ideas about how to run the church. He was at the first parish council meeting, and he said, we need to hire a part-time person to take care of the lawn. And one of the parish council members immediately said to him, Pastor, the other pastor used to always take care of the lawn himself. He said, I'm aware of that. He said, I called him, but he doesn't want to do it anymore. It's hard to find balance in our life, isn't it, my friends? We have our work, we have our family, we have recreation, and every now and then we have this spirituality or spiritual life in a distant fourth. And Jesus is saying to all of us, no. This needs to be part of this, a priority in our life. It needs to be a priority. Why? There's an interesting article I read this past week. It was, his name was Dr. John Calhoun, and he did a study for the National Institute of Mental Health. And the topic was how the modern era is dealing with stress, or not dealing with stress, is really the topic of conversation. And how our society is not dealing with this in a very healthy manner. And he did a study on mice. He took a 9-foot cage that could comfortably hold 160 mice. And he grew this population to 2,200. Now, these mice were incredibly well fed. Their living environment was very, very comfortable. The temperature was fine. There was no disease among them. But he wanted to study these mice and see how they reacted in overcrowded situations where they would have no space for themselves. It was interesting. He said the mice started getting very, very aggressive and angry, which typically is not a behavior of mice. And after 5 years, do you know how many mice were left? None. They all died. There was no disease, all food and water that they wanted, and very comfortable except being crowded. And not one survived. My friends, and that's what Jesus is saying, look, and probably why there's in cities, my friends, there's more violence, because they're more crowded. They're more crowded. We're not taking that time, my friends, to nourish our soul and our roots. We talk a lot about prayer, and a lot of us don't even know how to pray, what to pray, how long to pray. We start small when we create habits in our life. No more than 5 minutes, but 5 minutes every single day. What to pray, my friends? Ask. Ask God. Say, teach me to pray with the heart. Teach me to pray with the heart. You can read the Bible for 5 minutes. You can pray a decade of the rosary. You can pray your favorite prayers, my friends. It's not really important what you pray. It's that you do pray 5 minutes. And then it builds. It builds. We have a motto in our society, isn't it? Just don't stand there. Do something. Right? Just don't stand there. Do something. Jesus is saying, just don't do something. Stand there. That's what he's telling us. Just don't do something. Stand there. And why would he say that to us? Because something happens when we pray, my friends. Something happens. We change. We change. And it's not easy either. We're so attached to phones, computers, TV, aren't we? We can't detach ourselves from that. We just can't stand there. We need to have devices and all sorts of things right around us. In that article with the National Health was another article about a farmer that had 2 willow trees. And they were just a short distance apart. There was one along a stream. There was one willow tree that was very healthy here. And right where Sammy is, there was another tree, a willow tree that was very unhealthy. And the farmer couldn't understand why in that short of distance there was such a disparity between these 2 willow trees. One was incredibly healthy, and the one by Sammy was incredibly sick-looking, and how it was their entire life. And then they put a pipe in for irrigation, and they noticed that there was a wall that was built that was trying to irrigate where the stream was caving in, and the farmer before had put a wall underneath there to try to create the erosion taking place, and it was blocking the roots of the tree. And I thought, my friends, that's what prayer does. It gives us deep roots to be able to handle the storms in life. There's nothing like good, strong, deep roots for a tree, my friends. And when we have roots ourselves, we are able to handle the storms of life in a much better fashion as well. We mutter and we sputter. We fume and we spurt. We mumble and we groan. Our feelings are always hurt. We can't understand things. Our vision grows dim. But all that we need is a moment with Him. Interesting, isn't it? We mutter and we sputter. We mumble and we groan. But all that we need is a moment with Him. Come away by yourselves to a deserted place and rest a while. God bless you.